Bonjour. Now, you know that in French we have masculine words and feminine words. And in today's lesson, we are going to try to understand why it is so important for you to know the gender of a French word. So, today's objective is to understand the importance of knowing whether a word is feminine or masculine. First of all, let's concentrate on the definite and indefinite articles. They tell you what the gender of the word is. Please note that most words ending in E in French are feminine. Most words ending with a consonant or not an E are masculine. However, this is far from being a strict rule, and there are many exceptions. There is an extensive table on your support guide which gives you a few tips on how to recognize masculine and feminine words. But today's lesson is about the importance of knowing whether a word is feminine or masculine. So, let me remind you that le, which means the, or un, which means a, is used in front of a masculine noun. La, which is the, or une, which is a, is used in front of a feminine noun. And les, which means the, or des, which means some, is used in front of a plural noun, regardless if it is feminine or masculine. Let me give you an example here. I think the best way to learn is by showing you some examples. For example, le or un stylo, so that's the or a stylo. Now, it is masculine because we are using le and un in front of it, but because it's masculine. La or une fleur, okay, so the or a flower. If you wanted to put these two words into its plural form, it will be les or des stylos with an S, okay, so the or some pens, okay? Now, les or des fleurs, some, okay, the or some flowers, okay? So you get my grip here. Even though les or des are used for both masculine and feminine nouns, as you can see, knowing the gender of the noun is still important. So why is it so important to know if a word is a le or a la or a les? Well, I'm going to give you 5 reasons here. Because a noun may come with the following grammatical influencers. Now, you're going to say, what is grammatical influencer? For example, let me give you an idea with an example using adjectives. All adjectives agree in number and gender with the noun they qualify. Now, for example, we take a sentence such as le stylo vert est petit. Now, we know for a fact that stylo is masculine because we know and we've learnt it. Le stylo vert est petit. Now, that means the green pen is small. Now, you will notice that vert has a T, just like the color vert, and we haven't added anything to it. And petit remains with its masculine form, petit, the T. So let's have a look at what happens to the adjective when we're using a feminine word. La fleur verte est petite. Now, if you compare it with the masculine word, what happened to its adjective? Well, yes, we added an E to it, didn't we? Verte and petite. Now, what happens if we are using the plural form? For pen, for example, stylo, we want to say the green pens are small. Les stylos verts sont petits. So suddenly, because we know that it's a plural and we know it's masculine, we're keeping vert in its masculine form, but we've added an S to it because we know it is plural. So it agrees in number and gender. Let's have a look at fleur now. We want to say the green flowers are small. Les fleurs vertes sont petites. So what have we done here? We've added an E because we know that it is a feminine word and an S because we know it is a plural word. Though we use les for both nouns, the corresponding adjectives still have to reflect the gender as well as the number of the nouns. So, vert, V-E-R-T-S, is masculine plural because stylo, with an S, is masculine plural. Also, not only the spelling changes, the pronunciation does too. Okay, so for example, you would say petit, petite, vert, verte. Now, let's have a look at the second reason of why it is so important to know why a word is feminine or masculine. So, what happened when using a possessive adjective or a possessive pronoun? Once again, all possessive pronouns and adjectives agree in number and gender with the noun used. So, what does it mean when we put this into practice? Let's have a look at this sentence. My pen is green. So, in French, we would say mon stylo est vert. Now, remember that in terms of possessive adjectives, we use mon, ma, mes, ton, ta, tes, and so on. It is mon because stylo is masculine. So be very careful with that. It is vert, not verte, because mon is masculine. So please have a look at this very carefully. Let's have a look at the pronouns. So if we wanted to say mon stylo est vert, my pen is green, and we want to say mine is green, again, you've got to know the gender of the word in order to put this into the correct spelling. So we would say le mien est vert. Mine is green, okay? Because stylo is masculine, we say le, and we say mien, and we say vert with no e, okay? So everything has to agree, okay? Let's have a look at a feminine version using the same example again. Ma fleur est verte. As you can see, I'm using ma here, not mon. Why? Because fleur is feminine. So therefore, I'm using the possessive ma and not mon, okay? Now remember that all possessive agree with the actual gender of the word and not with whether it belongs to you or not. So, ma fleur est verte. My flower is green. And then we want to say mine is green. Mine. So I know that for stylo we said le mien, but it wouldn't be the same for ma fleur because fleur is feminine. And so therefore we need to use this possessive pronouns la mienne, which agrees with fleur. La mienne est verte. Mine is green. Have a look at the I at the end of verte because fleur is feminine, okay? Now let's have a look at what happens when we are using a plural, but also a masculine plural. So we want to say, my pens are green. Now here we're using mes, M-E-S, because that is the plural form of this possessives, yeah? Mes stylos sont verts. Have a look at vert as an S because we're using stylo as a masculine plural word. But what happens if we want to say mine are green, talking about the stylo, the pens, where we would say les miens sont verts. Now look that everything agrees. Les is plural, mien has an S, vert has an S because it's plural masculine. So what happened then when we use a plural but feminine? Well, it would be mes fleurs sont vertes. So we're using the same mes, M-E-S, but verte as an E and an S at the end. And if we wanted to say mine are green, again, it's not les miens sont verts, but because fleur is plural, because fleur is feminine, then you would say les miennes sont vertes. Okay? So that's the demonstration of how important it is to know whether a word is feminine or masculine. So now, let's have a look at a third indicator showing the importance of knowing why a word is feminine or masculine. What happens when we change demonstrative pronouns and adjectives? Now, all demonstrative pronouns and adjectives agree in number and gender with the noun used. So I've used this, again, the same example, but what if we wanted to say this pen is green, this one is green? So we're using demonstrative adjective and pronouns here. So, ce stylo est vert, celui-ci est vert. This pen is green, this one is green. So we're using ce and celui-ci because we know that stylo is masculine. So what would we use if the word was feminine? Well, we would say cette fleur est verte, celle-ci est verte. So this flower is green, this one is green. Can you see what's happening here? Oh my gosh, it's so hard, isn't it? That you have to know actually how to say this in its masculine form, in its feminine form, or in its plural form in order for you to be accurate. Now let's have a look at what happens when using these pens are green, these ones are green. Ces stylos sont verts, ceux-ci sont verts. Or when using a plural but feminine, ces fleurs sont vertes, celles-ci sont vertes. So these flowers are green, these ones are green. Now let's have a look at a fourth reason why it is so important to know whether a word is feminine or masculine. When it comes to interrogatives, pronouns or adjectives, they also agree in number and gender with the noun used. For example, you want to see what pen is on the table. Now that's quite easy. In English, you say what pen is on the tables, and if you wanted to say what pens are on the tables, okay, you still use what. Okay, but in French we don't. We've got to take in consideration whether pen here is masculine or masculine plural, or is the word feminine or feminine plural, because it all depends on the spelling of what. So for example, quel stylo est sur la table? What pen is on the table? So we're using quel, Q-U-E-L, but look at it when it becomes a plural. Quels stylos sont sur la table? What pens are on the table? So suddenly we've added an S to it. And not only that, just we kept one L because it is masculine. But what happens when we want to use a feminine word here in our interrogatives? Quelle fleur est sur la table? See what happens? Quelle fleur est sur la table? What flower is on the table? Quelle is spelled double L-E. Why? Because fleur is feminine. Now, have a look at it when it becomes a plural. So not only is it feminine, but it is also plural. We've got to take that in consideration. So, quelles, I-double-L-E-S, okay? Quelles fleurs sont sur la table? What flowers are on the table? Okay, I know it's hard and you must think, oh, I will never remember, but that's okay because in French, the sound for what is quel, no matter how you spell it, if that makes sense. But it's still important for you if you want to be accurate. It's important for you to know that knowing the feminine and masculine is quite important. Now, a fifth reason is what happens when conjugating a verb. Now, the subject pronoun has to agree with the number and gender of the noun it replaces. Okay, I know I've lost a few already, but what does it mean? Replacing the noun by a subject pronoun. For example, le stylo vert. Now, the green pen. You want to say, for example, le stylo est vert. Okay, the pen is green, but you don't want to repeat the pen. Instead, you want to replace it by a subject pronoun. Now, I remind you that the subject pronoun is je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. Well, if you were to replace le stylo by a subject pronoun, it would have to be he, because stylo is masculine. So we would say, in effect, he is green. Il est vert. And I know that in English you use it. You would say it for an object, but we don't. Everything you look at in French is either a he or a she. So for stylo, il est vert. So what happens for flower then? We want to say la fleur est verte. Instead of saying la fleur, we want to replace it by a subject pronoun. We want to say she. She is green, okay? Elle est verte, okay? So be careful again. You've got to know the gender of your word in order to replace it by the right subject pronoun. Let's have a look at what if you replace the subject pronoun by les stylos. Les stylos sont verts. Now, the pens are green, okay? We want to say they are green, okay? Well, in French, we would say ils, I-L-S. We will use the masculine plural version of they because still always masculine plural. Well done. So the same with flowers. We want to use they, but we want to use the feminine plural version. Well done. Okay, so les fleurs sont vertes. The flowers are green. Okay, and we are using elles sont vertes. E-double-L-E-S. Remember, we have two ways of saying they in French. Now, as I said to you, there is no such a thing as it, okay, in French, so everything has to be a he or a she, no matter if it's a door or a girl we are referring to. Now, when it comes to past participle agreement of number and gender, when using the auxiliary verb être in the passé composé, the past participle must agree as well in gender and number with the subject. So let me give you the list of aller in a past tense and have a look at how the spelling varies as well, depending on whether we are talking about feminine, feminine plural, masculine, masculine plural. Have a look at this. Je suis allée can have an E if je is a girl as well. Tu es allé can have an E if you, tu, refers to a girl. Il est allé stays masculine because it's il. Elle est allée has two E's because it's always feminine. Nous sommes allés can have an E if nous is a bunch of girls. Vous êtes allés can have an E and an S if we are referring to a bunch of girls, okay? But it can't have an E or an S if you are referring to someone, vous, as in toi, okay? Ils sont allés, ES, because il is masculine plural, and elles sont allées always has an E and an S because we know for a fact we are talking about a feminine and a plural form or subject pronoun. So, be careful here then. The E will only be needed if je, tu, nous, vous are referring to subject, feminine subject. Sorry about that. So you're going to say to me, wait a minute, Alexa, what happens if I am a group of girls and boys and we want to say nous sommes allés, but within that group, it's not only girls, it's boys as well. Well, grammatically speaking, the boys are always stronger. I said grammatically speaking here, okay? So what you do is use the plural masculine form, okay? No matter whether there is a girl in the group, okay? Okay, that's it for me. There is a support guide available to this very complicated lesson at learnfrenchwithalexa.com. Please leave a comment if you have any questions and also subscribe. Au revoir, à bientôt, bisous bisous.